Hey, welcome to Spirit Soul Sense, information for your soul, and I am Sharice. I have a few other videos about sexuality and spirituality, and this is going to be another one that's primarily going to be about celibacy. So in one of my other videos, I talked about how marriage is for the evolution of our souls and about how some people transcend this need for another person. Most of us are going to be partnered and will get the evolution, the push and pull that relationships bring out of us that help get us to the next level. Everyone doesn't need that. And some people are able to transcend what I call needing relationships. So think about monks, think about nuns. A lot of people do it for spiritual reasons, but you may in your own life see single folks in the church, not in the church, who don't seem to need another person. And by single, I don't mean like not married. I mean alone, like someone who is by themselves, is not partnered, is not in a relationship with another person that's romantic and intimate in that sense. They can have friendships and definitely long-term relationships, but when you think of this person who is celibate, you really think of someone who is just not interested or hasn't prioritized romantic relationships, and so they're alone. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that some people don't really need another person in their life on a day-to-day basis to help them transcend spiritually and help their soul evolve. So when speaking about celibacy, celibacy is typically a spiritual decision that someone makes to abstain from sex, sexual activities, intercourse with themselves, with another person. People can take short-term vows of celibacy, long-term vows of celibacy, and even lifetime vows of celibacy. I think the most important part of celibacy is wanting to do it for inner transformative reasons, for pushing yourself to the next level, wanting your soul to evolve, instead of trying to get rid of unwanted feelings or sexual urges. So I used to have a friend who was friends with someone who was becoming a priest. And this was, I believe, one of the priests who do not marry. And so they take a vow of celibacy for life and they do not partner with anyone. This person seemed to really struggle with their sexuality and with sex, and so was engaging in sexual activities while they were studying to become a priest. And so to me, that says what they need to do is pause and consider if being a part of the priesthood is something that they really desire, or if it's really like a distraction from them wanting to explore parts of their sexuality in a way that they feel is unacceptable. Like, we've all been given messages around sex. Not everyone is taught that sex is bad, but I think a majority of us have associated sex with power or money or dirtiness or sin, these kind of ideas. And so it makes sense to me that, for in the Catholic Church, that there are so many men who are priests who have abused little boys. In your mind, you've sort of fractured off these two parts of yourself, right? Instead of admitting to yourself that you have this deviant thought, you kind of go to the extreme. Not only do I not have this deviant thought, but I am a priest. But it comes out, right? And people who abuse other kids are sick and need significant help and should not be pastoring anyone. That's an extreme example of a really negative reason to take up celibacy. I think celibacy is not the same thing as abstaining from sex. A lot of people are not having sex because they just don't want to, they're not interested in it. A partner is not available to them. Maybe they don't have as many options as they would like for someone to have sex with. Or they just don't feel ready. Even if they are seeing someone, they don't feel ready to have sex. I think the difference between abstaining and celibacy is that you're doing it for similar reasons that someone who's doing a spiritual fast is doing it. You want to gain clarity, you want a deeper connection with God, you're doing it for yourself to have a closer relationship with some of the things that you're experiencing. And it's really not about the other person or so if someone did come into your space and propositioned you for sex, you would say no, not just because you don't feel like it, but because you have a goal in mind about something that you would like to achieve. Keeping something or restricting something from yourself lets you get the opportunity to see what comes bubbling up to the surface. Sex is, I think, is a powerful force. And when you deny yourself that thing that is so integral to us as human beings, you can gather information. It doesn't have to be done through sex. I have done a fast from music because I have known that music is something that I have used to distract myself or to make me feel one type of way when I really feel a different way. It could be different for different people. Food can be like a big one, and some people fast, right, for spiritual reasons, and some people do like intermittent fasting to lose weight. These are all different ways to experience sort of the same thing. You may wonder if celibacy is something right for you. That's really only a question that you can answer for yourself. There are definitely benefits to restricting anything in our life when we do it for spiritual reasons and connect with spirit, God, the universe in our decision to do so, and then wait and listen, pause and gather information about what's coming up for you, process, your feelings and thoughts around what happens when you do restrict. I think taking breaks from anything, it doesn't have to be sex, can be a beneficial experience just to see for yourself what it's like if it's for you. There's a lot of different ways to get to the same end. What we want is a whole person who makes love to themselves first, doesn't depend on another person for their sexual satisfaction, and that you're happy and healthy. Like, that's really the goal here. Let me know what your experience has been like with celibacy, if you've considered it, if you've done it, if you completely do not recommend it. And thank you for watching. And some people